Hello, everyone. We're going to talk about Heretic by Scott Beck and Brian Woods. This film came out in 2024, produced by A24. So, this is a meaty genre film that is very much in keeping with the kind of films that we associate with A24. Some people call these films pretentious and get irritated by them. Other people find them refreshing counters to the more mainstream genre schlock. It stars Hugh Grant as the film's antagonist, Sophie Thatcher as Sister Barnes, and Chloe East as Sister Paxton. Paxton and Barnes are sisters in the Mormon faith, going door to door to try and convince people to join their church. So they're young missionaries trying to establish themselves in their faith. And of course, who do they visit? They visit Hugh Grant's Mr. Reed, who is a malevolent, psychopathic elder character who engages them in this horrific cat and mouse game. So, as a cat and mouse thriller, I think it's interesting how this film is a recognizable subgenre of the thriller in that it's giving you an antagonist who is terrifying because of their intelligence and because of the ways they've chosen to use that intelligence. Well, the most famous example of this is probably Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs. Mr. Reed and Dr. Lecter are similar characters in that in a healthy, perfect world or a functioning social order, they would be, the respected, benevolent elders, right? Guiding their young charges through the world and into adulthood, into a maturity. What you get instead is an inversion of that healthy social order, and you get them their dark, bad teacher father figures who malevolently try to manipulate and terrorize their young charges instead. And so clearly Starling is the student figure. Paxton and Barnes are the student figures in this film. So it's a subgenre of the horror and suspense genres that plays on the underpinned anxiety of that kind of a authority figure, the figure of the teacher, the figure of the elder. If I can engage in kind of some cheesy punning, you think about Dr. Lecter's name, right? Lecter, lecture, lectern. So they're playing up the idea that this is this bad teacher figure, this dark teacher. And then who have you got in Heretic? You've got Mr. Reed, right? He's lettered, he's intelligent, he's a man of learning, he's a man of books. So it's interesting how the names plays on this valence in the film of, the world of scholarship and learning and knowledge and how those things can become very dark sources of power and terror. The film is also really interesting because it's a work of philosophical horror. This film fundamentally asks the question, what is the role of faith in society? What role does specifically organized religion as a faith-based organization play in society? Is it good or is it bad? But underpinning all of that, is it true? What is the nature of reality? What is the nature of the world and existence? The film, mostly through the character of Reed, raises questions about this fundamental question, or gives possible answers to it. But of course, like any great entry in a subgenre like this, it really does leave the answer up to the individual viewer while suggesting possible answers along the way. So yeah, I mean, Jesse, you've seen this film. What's your 2 cents?
Yeah, I thought it was incredibly engaging with a phenomenal central performance by Hugh Grant, and I definitely hear you on the affinity between his character and other kind of scholar horror characters like Hannibal Lecter, and even I'll connect him to like Jigsaw just
Mm,
because
absolutely.
of the way Hugh Grant's character plays on that idea of reality and life as a game, a puzzle to be figured out and studied and deconstructed. And so he was a fascinating character. I think in terms of like the movie itself, it plays up, kind of the tropes and the formulas we've seen before. But I think what makes it stand out and distinguishes it is Hugh Grant's monster.
Mm,
The monster he plays is a fascinating one because the movie leads you to a very kind of ironic place, doing
Mhm.
exactly what he's critiqued organized religion as doing, trying to control these two girls, their minds and their bodies as well. He's just replicating it in his own monstrous way.
I think what's interesting about the Mr. Reed character is that we really see his arrogance when we think about the Sister Paxton character, because she didn't need to have this terrible experience to already be raising these questions and having this struggle. She's already having that struggle at the beginning of the film. And so this conceit he has where he's like educating them, it's like, no, at least in the case of Sister Paxton, she already knows this. She's reckoning with this, struggling with this right now. And it actually becomes key to her perspective on this. The fact that she does have this distance, this skepticism becomes key to her success as a character. Again, without giving away the ending, she plays a fundamental role in how things turn out. And I chalk that up to her status as somebody who does actually engage in questioning and serious and clearly has questions, doesn't just blindly follow, whatever system is put before her. That's a lesson that Sister Paxton has to learn more on the fly. She hasn't come to that point in her life yet. She's not at that place of intellectual questioning. And it's much mature to say that that's something that Reed focuses and forces out of her, right? But I think the film is using horror and suspense to explore this question that every person of faith or every person within an ideological system, which is to say everybody, fundamentally has to ask themselves. It's like, am I a fool? What's really going on here? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing any of this?
Yeah.
Does any of it go make sense? And I can't really answer these questions because to answer these questions, I'd have to know something I don't, which is what happens when we die, because
Yeah.
nobody knows that, right? So
Yes.
that becomes the conundrum that Reeds and monsters like him use to manipulate and control people. Yeah, two thumbs up for me. I give it 4 out of 5 stars. And the only an out and out all-time masterpiece is ever going to get 5 stars from me. But this is a great, great entry in the cat and mouse thriller uh,
Yeah.
film series.
Yeah, I give it four, right with you, 4 stars, right with you. Yeah, I think the 1 star is lacking for me, like I said, because the third act it was a little too formulaic for me, you know.
No,
So
the film doesn't break any boundaries. It's not an A24 film that's trying to be experimental or different,
yeah,
really. It really is a using an established formula to tell a story that we've heard before. So like and subscribe. More After Hours Screen Talk is coming your way.